Watchers, um, right, during the last 15, 20 years, the Department of Worry and Persecution has put in a considerable effort to kill off uh, the disabled and vulnerable people who they believe are a burden to the state and of no use to the state, and the state is what is basically the DWP, the Department of Wankers and Perverts, is a rather nasty left wing organisation um, who believes that disabled people are of no use to the state, and they've been killing lots of disabled people, but they haven't been able to kill as many as they'd like to. But now we have such a piss weak government. The civil servants are in charge, so they are going wholesale to kill as many disabled people as possible. And well, anybody who's vulnerable. uh, well, listen what Psycho Liz Kendall has to say now, I think.
This is our inheritance from the Conservative government, and the Tories failed on welfare because they failed on work. We have got almost record numbers of people out of work due to long-term health problems. That's terrible for them, it's terrible for their living standards, it's terrible for employers who want to recruit, and it's terrible for the public finances.
So she's saying it's been inherited from the the Conservative government. Right. So basically, the DWP do not believe that enough disabled people are dying. They believe there's not enough suffering going on against the people they detest. And basically, there's lots of disabled people with benefits still alive and staying alive because the Conservative government actually stood up to the fascist, nasty, evil, ideologically deranged civil servants of the DWP in Whitehall. The civil servants like to run the show. The Conservative government, the last government, actually stood up to the civil servants who want to run the country. They are vicious bastards, these civil servants, and they are real bullies. You may remember during the last government there was a number of allegations of ministers and secretaries of state bullying civil servants. This is commonly known as deflection because it's actually the civil servants who are the bullies. And basically, they're able to bully this Labour government no problem and get exactly what they want, which is countless deaths of vulnerable people who they believe are a burden to the state. So basically, lots of people are still alive now who the DWP believe should be dead, and the Labour government obviously is going along with the DWP. All these people not suffering. They are very annoyed about all these people not suffering and being okay and living okay for the last 10 years or so, and people getting what they are entitled to rather than being denied, etc. What is this? I mean, people getting what they're entitled to and not suffering as the DWP want them to suffer. What is this?
This is our inheritance from the Conservative government.
Right, now I think it's time to listen to Alison McGovern. She's a Department of Worry and Persecution Minister.
Well, we're publishing a bill today that introduces new measures that we think that we need to get public money back. You know, it's never acceptable to steal from the social security system, ever. But at this moment in time, we need that money for our health service.
So basically, she's calling those in need, or those who are vulnerable, the disabled, etc., a bunch of thieves. This is absolutely outrageous, and Joseph Goebbels would be very proud of her.
We need it. So we want to be able to do new checks with banks to say if somebody is receiving universal credit or other relevant benefits, do banks have any information that they're outside the eligibility criteria? You know, you can't have more than £16,000 in the bank. So we will ask banks to help us with that information. We will then use that data for human beings to investigate those cases, to find those people where we've got fraud. Then we want to have new powers so that we can do search operations ourselves rather than
She's saying that it's illegal to look at other people's bank accounts at the moment because that they will insist on people going to the job centre and with their bank statements or posting them online. And basically, if they don't post their bank statements, they sanction them and then stop their benefits. It's one way of stopping giving benefits to the disabled. That is, you see, if a disabled person is housebound, they'll insist that they go down there and show their bank statements at the job centre, and because they can't get down the job centre, they then can sanction and close the claim, which is what they do. So basically, they're doing that already. Is she saying they can't do that now because they do it all the time? And if they're doing it, is she saying they're breaking the law at the moment? I mean, basically, they do break the law. I mean, they do actually sanction people for no reason. They do close claims for no reason. They trump up things to close them because they want to kill all the disabled. I mean, she's saying that we work with the bank. I mean, so they just want the banks to directly tell them. I mean, basically, if anyone has any dealings with the Department of Worry and Persecution, then that their life isn't their own because that's how socialism. It's a socialist organisation. I mean, the higher up in the organisation you go, the more ideologically deranged socialists they are. To the point, I mean, like at the top, yes, they hate disabled people. They think they're a burden on the state and should be exterminated, and that's the DWP. And so, basically, it's the whole idea is to actually make it so bloody stressful that people say "fuck it" and don't claim, which is what they want. And if they starve to death, well, it's really not a problem if they starve to death if they've actually decided not to claim anymore, because well, they can say it's nothing to do with them when actually it is. Real evil bastards. Anyway, back to the minister.
Then we want to have new powers so that we can do search operations ourselves rather than relying on the police. And then the final bit is the backstop. Because at the moment, we can get money back through the benefit system if people are claiming universal credit or other things. We can get money back through PAYE, through HMRC. But for some people, if they're really determined not to give that money back and they're not on benefits or on PAYE, then we need the ability to take that money from bank accounts. And finally, if they really still are so determined that they won't give the money back, we will apply to the courts to disqualify them from driving. That's a power that already exists in the Child Maintenance Service, so that we know it works. And that's what we want to do, make sure that we've got the right powers to take this on.
Okay. Fucking evil bastards. Right, so... Okay, so they can take off benefit, But if they're not claiming benefit, they take a PAYE. Right, so if they're not on benefit and they're not working, they still want the money. Where the bloody hell is the money coming from? So basically, people who are not working and on benefit, they're going after them for money. It's like a bloody loan sharking business. No, we'll give you this money and then stop giving the money and then insist on giving it back. Even when the person who they're attacking is destitute, even. I mean, so basically, you could end up losing your house, you got everything, end up being bloody homeless because you got no income, and then they're going to come after them for money, and then now, I mean, basically, their contempt for the disabled is all over this. Their contempt for the disabled and the vulnerable is all over this. I mean, you still hear them saying about people on disability benefits with flat screen TVs. Right. Now, a flat screen TV, you can get one for about 150 quid, right? Now, a CRT television with a cafe ray tube, all that. The cheapest one you can get hold of is 600, and then you've got to get a digibox on top of that. So basically, when they actually say they've got a flat screen TV, what they're actually saying is that disabled people or people on benefits should not be allowed to watch the television. That's basically it. But they shouldn't even be allowed to bloody drive now. I mean, they're going to take away vulnerable people's driving licenses. They're going to ban them from driving. Right? If you can't drive, it's a lot harder to get a job. So they're going to make it harder for people to get a job. You know, they'll take away the benefits, leave them destitute, and then take away the driving license. So they want to make it harder for people to get work by taking away their driving licenses once they've made them destitute. I mean, basically, you know, I mean, this is absolutely contemptuous. Just when you thought you couldn't hate the Labour Party anymore, and I don't think I could hate the DWP anymore more than I already have. I mean, I actually understand that the Department of Wankers and Perverts, the Department of Worry and Persecution, is this ideologically deranged? You see, there's rats, and below them are cockroaches, and below them are the DWP, who pole vault under snakes. Now, basically, I'm going to share a bit of a recording I made of a conversation on the phone with one of the Department of Wankers and Persecutors, the other end. Let's have a listen, shall we?
The assistant to contact the review team via your journal.
Okay, so.
Sorry? Hello?
So, by this, it can be established that if somebody is disabled, they cannot claim universal credit.
No, that wouldn't be correct. But in regards to...
So how can somebody who is disabled claim universal credit?
I understand, but...
No, how can they do that? No.
I'm sorry you're raising your voice. This is your first warning. What I will advise you is if you still disagree with the decision, you can appeal the decision within 1 month of the date of the letter to the first tier tribunal. So the tribunal is independent from DWP. They will...
Right. She said that, didn't she? Like, go to a tribunal independent of DWP.
Look at the decision again and make an impartial...
The tribunal is
independent
independent of the DWP. Who does the tribunal?
Yeah, so you'd be able to appeal on the gov.uk website. So that would be www.gov.uk/appeal-benefit-decision. And that explains how you can make the appeal.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. And who does this?
The government. Once you go on the website, you'd be able to either appeal online or by post.
What government department does it?
DWP.
But you just told me it's done by somebody independent of the DWP. Now you're saying that the government department is the DWP.
Oh, sorry, that's my bad.
Okay, there really is an important, isn't it?
Right, now the fun fact about this is that the appeals are done by the judiciary, not the Department of Wankers and Persecutors. So you start talking to them on the phone and they bullshit away. Anyway, I'm going to end this now. So, shalom, salam, pax Christi, Irene ta Christo.